Okay, for every glory you have, there is a story. And seated here are engineers that are trying to set the pace for this great nation, Nigeria. It's all about local internet content, and we're gathered here at Internet Exchange Point for this wonderful strategy session. You can see faces, but in a couple of minutes, we'll be meeting them one-on-one to share their thoughts about what they think local content is all about in this part of the world. You're doing this on WinTV247 on YouTube. I'll see you on the other side.
WinTV247. We cover the coverage globally from Africa to Asia, America, the Middle East, and Europe. Trend with WinTV and go viral on the internet any day, anywhere, anytime on any of the mobile devices, Blackberries, Androids, iPhones, iPads, and of course your PC. Contact us via wintv.media@gmail.com or call these numbers 0803-581-2081 or 0705-534-3121. WinTV247, covering the coverage.
It's so interesting to know that there are always veterans in every industry, and that is why we're starting this process for local content in Nigeria with a veteran here. Let's get to meet him, sir. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Remy Mwake. I'm the Group Executive Editor of Digital Sense Business News. I'm also an executive member of Nigeria Internet Registration Association.
Wow, sir, this is awesome. Sir, let's hear you talk about local content in Nigeria in brief.
Well, when you talk about local content, it's actually one of the key things that motivated some of us to remain in NiRA, as it were, because we are interested in moving Nigerian content and rather bringing it to the fore. So we felt that, first of all, for us to achieve that, we need to create awareness and start accepting our own subjects as key things that must be showcased beyond our own borders. And if you look at the internet doesn't have borders. And for us to achieve that, we need also to encourage Nigerians to generate contents, no matter the level of content, and then host it locally. When you host it locally and it's on .ng, the bottom line is that you are promoting Nigeria, which is a local brand, so to say, but bringing it up to the entire world to see what we have got to show at the end of the day. So it is very encouraging for us, those of us who are already in it, trying to play around it, and also to encourage other Nigerians to buy into it, because that's the only way to move our own country forward.
So very soon something is going to be hitting the entire nation really hard. Local content exhibition. What do you have to say about it? You want to share what the public should expect?
Well, from my own perspective as the chairman of the Publicity and Communication at NiRA, we expect that the local content in Nigeria should be promoted by all means. And that's why we are partnering or collaborating with the Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria to develop an event around it, create the awareness both for the data center operators, hosting companies in Nigeria, those who are also players in it, like music producers, media people who generate most authentic content, so to say. So we expect everyone to rally around this project and then see how also we can make money out of it. Because at the end of the day, why everybody is in business is to make money. Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that. But our viewers, this is what we want to start the process. So we call for engagement on our comments page on YouTube. And don't worry, you're going to be seeing an official channel from this particular project, NiRA, in collaboration with IXPN, bringing to the doorstep local content expo in Nigeria very soon. So I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, wherever you're watching us around the world, it's still an exclusive on YouTube. We're doing this for Nigeria and it's local content promotion. We have a veteran practitioner here, been playing for a while. Let's get to meet him officially and get his perceptions about local content.
My name is Mohammed Rodman, the CEO of Internet Exchange Point of Nigeria.
So let's hear you give us 1 minute of what Internet Exchange Point is all about before going to today's.
Internet Exchange Point is a physical infrastructure where internet service providers, telcos, content providers, higher educational institutions, and other IP-centric organizations come to physically interconnect so that they can exchange traffic between themselves locally without paying for the service within themselves. Yeah.
Well, so let's say you use 30 seconds to recount some of the benefits of actually hosting your content or using this platform.
Using this platform, one is cost, because if you are interconnected to each other, it's cheaper for you than to interconnect through a third party. Two, faster user experience to your customers. As long as you are connected, it means your customers can reach local content through the exchange point instead of going through international. So it brings opportunities for ISPs to go into value-added services like local hosting of content. Instead of just buying internet and selling internet services, they can use that to generate more revenue.
So let's hit the mainstream.
Okay.
Let's talk about local content, and that's what our audience are waiting for. There is actually a revolution coming very soon, and WinTV247 is going to be carrying this on social media. Expect the best. But sir, let's talk about the forthcoming events, local content. Let's say you talk about it generally.
The local Internet Content Forum, right? We are trying to bring under the same roof all the major key stakeholders in Nigeria to see how we can localize our content. When you look at internet content, it falls into different categories. We have what is called local content that is created internationally and hosted internationally. For example, Google Maps is generated by Google, but for local consumption, if you have a Google map for Lagos, assume, it's for Lagosians to use, but it's created by a foreign company, hosted in a foreign lands. So you go out there to fetch that content. There is a content that is generated locally. That's another category that is hosted outside Nigeria. Most of the websites, you understand, including governments, they build their website, but they host it outside. There is another local content that is generated locally, but instead of hosted abroad, is now hosted locally within Nigeria. Wow. This is the content we are talking about. Because if you move your content outside Nigeria, it means that your customers, let's assume you're a media organization, you understand, all these newspapers that are hosting their website outside Nigeria. It means Nigerians that want to have access to that content have to find a way to leave the country to go to where the content is. And on the process, they pay more for it because the website is possibly 10,000 kilometers away instead of just maybe few kilometers away from you. So that's the issue. So we are right now focusing on this event to make sure that local content is generated and hosted locally.
So please share some of the target audience for this event, because the public is watching now.
The target audience are all telcos, because they will be the natural environment for local hosting in Nigeria. So all the telcos, ISPs will be here. The Nigerian.ng registrars, the ones that resell.ng, because they are also key players in this event, because instead of them using foreign providers to host their content, they can now use local providers to discuss, how they can host the content locally. So as you can see, we are bringing two critical environments, stakeholders, between telcos and the registrars, so that they can come and discuss real issues on why, they are not hosting their content locally, and the telcos should be able to address that. Then we are also trying to bring higher educational institutions, because we know that, yes, they have a lot of content. If you look at all our universities, people are doing thesis, and the projects are not hosted. You go to a lecturer's office, is filled up with projects. We want to see how these projects will be digitized and hosted locally, so that between universities they can now do a research and collaborate. We are trying to bring all the media organizations, the ones that are into content, and see how they can bring their content locally. We are trying to see how we can talk to government, because they are also part of it. They are hosting their content outside Nigeria. We want to make sure that all government websites are now hosted locally in Nigeria. So you can see that almost everybody that is into content is involved, and everybody that has a serious network that is selling services is also involved in it. We are trying to bring everyone together to discuss these issues, because the only way We can have broadband if the content is close to you. You can't have broadband because the broadband is the content. If you talk about broadband, is just high speed, and if what you are trying to access is 10,000 kilometers away from you, it will be too difficult, no matter what technology you use, to get that much high speed because of the distance. But if it's close to you, you can actually create bigger pipes.
So let's take this before you leave us on this short interview, because our audience might be wondering now. This is really striking them hard. The brains behind this unique project for Nigeria.
It's not that a unique project. It comes about with our interest, because we run the infrastructure for local interconnectivity, and we realize that almost all the ISPs that are connected, even though they are all connected, they are very big networks. You understand? If you look at our GSM networks, they have millions of subscribers. Even though they are connected, the traffic is still small. Why? Because if you look at internet and you want to divide it into two, you have the eyeballs, people trying to browse, and the content. They are trying to browse that content. So there are the two aspects of the internet. So the entire Nigerian networks have what is called the eyeballs, people trying to browse, and the content is actually outside Nigeria. So based on that, we realize that, look, even though we have the infrastructure, the traffic is really low. For us to increase the traffic, we need to have the local content. Because we noticed that immediately Google joined the exchange point. You understand? Our traffic shoots up because they are a major content provider. So if you have a bunch of eyeballs, everybody is trying to browse, but there is nothing to browse locally, then you can't. There is no traffic, no communication. So that's why we are trying to have that, to change our thinking, to make sure that, Nigerians are now hosting content locally because of the overwhelming benefits it will bring to them.
Sir, few benefits of those that will be attending this unique forum.
Okay, the few benefits is, the forum is for the entire country, because when you have hosting of content locally, it means that the end users will have faster user experience of getting to that content because the content is locally. It means that the hosting companies that will provide the hosting services will create more job opportunities for Nigerians instead of formally paying for it outside the country. That means dollars moving outside Nigeria, capital flight. It means that the money now resides in Nigeria to build more infrastructure. So it's a win-win for all. You understand? But for the people that are coming together, is trying to find a solution to our problem in Nigeria, where a lot of users are generating content, but unfortunately the content is hosted outside Nigeria. So it's a win-win for all.
Okay, this is where we're looking at it now. We want to call for discussions on this unique issue we're talking about here, local content, and IXPN, in collaboration with NiRA, is championing the cause for this. We don't want to mention the date now. We know that we'll be meeting him for another update as we do this build-up. But please post your comments about what you think about it on our comments page. Share the video with family and friends, especially for students, institutions. This concerns us a lot. My own project too is lying in my professor's desk as I speak. So we're part of this process, and we won't want to believe that Nigeria is going to come on board promoting our own content on the global space. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the next one. So I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much too.
All right, sir. Yeah.
WinTV247 will cover the coverage globally from Africa to Asia, America, the Middle East, and Europe. Trend with WinTV and go viral on the internet any day, anywhere, anytime, on any of the mobile devices, Blackberries, Androids, iPhones, iPads, and of course your PC. Contact us via wintv.media@gmail.com or call these numbers 0803-581-2081 or 0705-534-3121. WinTV 247, covering the coverage.